Hi. Have some lights, perhaps, up in the house even?
He wants the lights on.
Thanks. We're here tonight at the Yorktown Stage because 3 years ago, Wendy Bonner-Holman was diagnosed with the ultra-rare adrenal cortical carcinoma, or adrenal cancer. We're here at the Yorktown Stage tonight because 2 years ago, 1 year later, in 2008, Wendy's niece, Ashley, and her sisters, Danielle, Talia, and Sarah, felt compelled to do something on behalf of their aunt. So they organized a fundraiser. A fundraiser. To raise awareness and help fund research to find a cure for this routinely deadly cancer. The Dance for a Cause dance troupe started out with a band of extremely eager performers, 90% of whom had no formal dance training. Today, the troupe has grown to over 90 dancers. Ashley works tirelessly with her cast, choreographing each dance routine every Saturday and Sunday from September through January. With the help of her sisters and parents, Ashley handles every detail of the dance production, from music choice to costumes, and with support of her family has been able to raise additional money through t-shirt, sweatshirt, sweatpants sales. These are amazing young women who continue to bring their community together, even on a snowy night, and teach others how to do the same and how to have a voice. I truly stand in humble witness to this commitment of these young people who tirelessly work to turn such a personal journey into positive and clearly public change for others. By establishing the Adrenal Cancer Fund, Dance for a Cause, they've provided the impetus for all of us to change the world, one dance at a time. And I am honored to be associated with this effort, with all of you, whether on stage or in the audience, whether here in person or in spirit, whether in honor or in memory of one of your own. Thank you. You have not merely kept vigil to help keep the candle lit, you have lit a torch that is providing a growing beacon of hope, a torch that is blazing a trail for the adrenal cancer community, a trail that demands to be walked, skipped, run, a trail for a parade, for a protest, for a march, or better yet, a dance. In both homage and hope, hope that change is not just coming, it is here. So we are here tonight at the Yorktown Stage to be part of a magical evening of dance. For me, and I'm sure for many of you, this is personal. My name is Garry Hammer. As a teenager, I was forever changed when my Uncle Brian, my hero, died of leukemia. Today, I direct the University of Michigan Adrenal Cancer Program dedicated to treating patients with this incredibly rare disease where virtually everyone dies. You see, the problem is that adrenal cancer is difficult to diagnose and harder to treat. It's actually so rare that most doctors have never seen a case ever. It affects the very young and even the unborn, and then those in the prime of life. Most patients present late with disease that has spread all over the body already. Most treatments don't work, and the only FDA-approved drug for this disease is a derivative of a pesticide, approved in 1959. This is partly because, like for many rare cancers, the return on the investment for the government in terms of number of lives saved, or for big pharma in terms of revenue generated, is simply too thin. Adrenal cancer is an orphan disease, and patients have nowhere to go and no treatments that work. 10 years ago, I was a fired-up new doctor, a new researcher studying and treating folks with this rare cancer. I quickly became aware of how hard it is to make real progress in our understanding and treatment of this disease, and I quickly tired of seeing people die. So there I was, trying to start a real program for this cancer on less than a shoestring budget, no money from the NIH, no money from Big Pharma. After 5 years, I was out of funds, and my career and the program were on the verge of collapse. It was then that something remarkable started to happen. Patients, families of patients, friends of patients, under my care, sometimes individually, increasingly in groups, demanded a change in the playing field. Families started holding events with the goal of raising awareness, advocacy, and yes, funds to keep science going. Families and friends literally ignited our work and launched what has become one of the only interdisciplinary programs for adrenal cancer in the world. People gave me a second chance to keep my lab going, but more importantly, by doing so, they gave people with this deadly disease a chance to fight. Now we have a real and growing presence, including in Congress, where we are intimately involved in writing bipartisan legislation dedicated to access to care, progress in research, particularly rare cancers. And this means it is you who makes this happen. You who donate time, you who donate money, you who donate your creativity, you who launch careers, and ultimately save lives. Really, it is that simple. It turns out that positive change almost always comes from the ground up, from ground zero, and that's you. What changes the world is not corporations, it is not organizations or companies, it's not a them, it's a you, and it's a you. Last year at this very event, I stood here and I announced that I had just returned that day for a meeting in Long Island at a pharmaceutical company discussing a new exciting drug trial for adrenal cancer. The little-known backstory is that the only reason that drug company was engaged at all is because of the work done by young students and junior scientists, made possible in part by impassioned patients, families, and friends like you who have worked hard to advance advocacy, raise awareness, and funding for research. This trial uses a drug that blocks one of the primary genetic defects in adrenal cancer. If successful, it will be the first registered drug for adrenal cancer by the FDA since 1959. So I'll close by bringing us back to art, to the beloved Dr. Seuss. Remember Horton Hears a Who? A person's a person, no matter how small. It's the voice of a singular, very small citizen of Whoville named Jojo, who finally echoes through the clouds of that tiny dust speck to demand that his people be heard by the outside world, a world that was forever changed. Well, so it is with Dance for a Cause. First an idea, then a small band of graceful dancers with a cause, and now a troupe numbering 90 plus with the whole community empowered behind them. So know tonight that you are making a profound difference. Progress really is one step at a time. Progress is one day at a time. One scientist, one experiment at a time. One doctor, one nurse, one patient at a time. Tonight, one dance step at a time can and will really change the world. Thank you for caring.